Welcome everyone to Side Draft. Today we're going to talk about 5 insane Talladega finishes. You know Talladega, it's insane.
It's insane. It produces some crazy finishes, some great racing, and let's get into this.
Let's get into it. So, just a warning before we get into this that these aren't in order. So, just because the first one we talk about may be more insane to you than the last one we talk about, it's not in order. It's just 5 random races that we're going to talk about. So, don't make an angry comment just because we didn't talk about.
I think that was better than that one.
Yeah, just
no,
because.
we're just going to talk about 5.
Yeah, maybe next time we get to Talladega, we'll talk about 5 more. So, it's just 5 we wanted to highlight. So, first one we're going to talk about is
2019, the playoff.
The playoffs
for the Cup.
So Ryan Blaney went into this race in a must-win situation. Well, not technically, but it looked to be like that.
He pretty much had to win the race.
He had to win, and that's exactly what he did. But it wasn't very easy for him. He had to battle Ryan Newman for this win. Yeah. Ryan versus Ryan.
Yeah, so Blaney, he's learned to do the speedways real good, learned to draft. Had an amazing car that day, the Dent Wizard car. I think it's really great. Eric Almirola helped push him up there to the front. And I thought they're just going to go up there and lead it the rest of the way.
Yeah, and Denny Hamlin was able to help Ryan Newman. It seemed like he got pretty loose coming off of turn 4 there, and that lost some momentum, allowed Ryan Blaney to get back to him. But still, insane close finish between...
One by a foot.
Yes. And first, everybody thought Ryan Newman won that race.
Which Ryan won is.
But it was Ryan Blaney who took home the checkered and advanced to the next round of the playoffs.
Yeah, and Denny, he was right there. I mean, he's always close right there at these Talladega races.
I think Denny Hamlin's turned into like the super speedway king, but maybe Ryan Blaney can give him a run for his money in the upcoming race this weekend.
Yes.
Next up, we're going to talk about the Xfinity Series. Well, it wasn't necessarily called the Xfinity Series in this time. This is back when it was the Nationwide Series.
Nationwide, which everybody's... Now it's called Xfinity. Everybody goes back and says Xfinity, which I just never really understood that. 2013.
Yes, all the way back to 2013.
That's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a long time.
Did you remember that race?
I was sophomore year in high school.
So, we had Parker Kligerman, Kurt Busch.
Yeah, Kurt Busch in the one.
Regan Smith, Justin Allgaier, and Austin Dillon. I mean, it's all battling up there for the win.
Yeah, Joey Logano, I believe, was in that mix as well.
And he had a lot of damage on the car.
Yeah, just great battling by these guys. I believe Brian Vickers got into the only crash that happened. I mean, with how close these guys were in this race, I mean, I'm surprised it was only one crash.
Yeah, it come down to the last lap, the last turn, and Brian Vickers, he gets spun, and they throw the caution out. Usually on the last lap, they just let you race to the checkered flag.
If the caution didn't come out, Casey Kane would have been the winner, but since the caution did, Regan Smith was awarded the winner. And yeah.
Yes, I mean, it's a very tight battle right there. It's like, who won? And they had to go back and see the point of caution, and Regan Smith. And that was a good finish for him.
Good finish, and yes, that was back when he drove for Junior Motorsports in the number 7. Always nice to see that number 7 in victory lane.
Definitely so.
Now, the next one
we're going to go a little further back. 2010.
Yes, this was back when they had like the tandem drafting. So
and this is another spring race.
Another spring race.
The spring race always produces some good finishes.
For whatever reason, maybe it's because there's no intensity of championships. It's just go out there, win a race.
Yeah, so we had McMurray and Harvick as leading on the white flag. I mean, they had a pretty sizable lead.
Harvick and McMurray had this great plan to just go out there and lead this thing, and they did. They did that perfectly. But Kevin Harvick, he had other plans.
He had other plans. And it's very tough doing the tandem racing style like that because the one that's doing the pushing has got a chance to overheat, and blow the motor, then he's gone. But, yeah, Murray thought, oh, he's going to push me to the finish. That's great.
But Kevin Harvick was able to time it perfectly.
Yes.
And get the pass on McMurray just in time. Just in time for the win.
He used the side draft.
He used the side draft to get the victory for the number 29 RCR.
Mm-hmm. So good planning by Harvick, and that one, it was very close battle.
But not every race with the tandem drafting worked out that perfectly. Sometimes they got a little physical at the end.
Yeah, speaking of which, let's go to 2009. We keep going backwards, man.
We're going backwards.
Another Cup race in the spring. Spring, again.
Ayrton's $4.99.
Going back with Carl Edwards. Remember him?
Yes.
So Carl Edwards and Brad Keselowski, that was the time then that they didn't get along very well.
And this is the time when everyone's like, who is this Brad Keselowski guy?
Yeah.
Goes to Xfinity, wins a couple races, goes to the Cup at Talladega, and there he is in the mix for this win, pushing
Yes.
Carl Edwards.
So Junior, got him a race for Junior Motorsports, and he came along up through the ranks and trying to be a pretty good plate racer.
Dale Jr. and Ryan Newman were trailing behind these two in the closing laps. They were hoping maybe they'd
They was catching him.
they'd get side by side, slow down a little bit, and they would be able to steal the win away from them. But it looked like Brad Keselowski's trying to make a move late in this race, right there, feet away from the start-finish line. But Carl Edwards puts a late block on Brad Keselowski.
Stupid block.
And there goes Carl. He's flying through the air.
He's Superman.
Superman, well,
Into the catch fence.
into the catch fence and into Ryan Newman. And Ryan Newman just has terrible luck at these super speedways. He's such a good super speedway driver, but for whatever reason, he has these issues with cars landing on him.
Here, a car lands on him, or he flipping through the air, landing riding on the top, or whatever reason, he just has these crazy things happen to him.
And Brad Keselowski was able to get his first Cup Series win, and this would be kind of a preview of what we'd see out of Keselowski because he's really good at Talladega.
And he was driving for James Finch Racing.
Yeah, Phoenix Racing. So that's a throwback team there.
Throwback team, and he wins Talladega. And Carl Edwards, he finished the race on foot.
Yeah.
He ran
Ricky Bobby style. And this race, that finish had so many memes. This was the birth of Brad Keselowski won this race.
Yeah.
That destroyed the front end of Newman's car. So many memes from that little finish there.
Yeah, so was it that moment then when Brad and Carl kept having these trouble?
Yeah, I believe so.
I believe this when that started, and later on Carl got him back.
Yes.
I mean, it wasn't Brad's fault. He made a move that tried to get his car in position to win, and Carl tried to mirror drive, went down, and Brad had nowhere else to go, but it's funny.
Now for our...
What would you do? Huh?
Yeah, what would you do?
I'd do the same thing.
And
I'm just trying to go for the finish.
Now for our final race, we're going to talk
Final
about
race.
one of the closest finishes in NASCAR history, if not the closest finish.
2011 spring race.
Another spring race.
Yes.
So maybe that's something to be excited for.
So, another spring race coming up pretty soon. Will it be an incredible battle? Great finish? We'll find out. But here we had, that's kind of a tandem style race that day too, because Boyer and Harvick working together. Gordon and Casey Kane was working together, and then there was Jimmy Johnson and Dale Jr. working together. So, and they're just all trying to figure out who's going to win.
Yeah, it went back and forth. It seemed like Gordon and Casey Kane were so great at this. It was just going to cruise on, pull a Harvick and McMurray. Yeah, Jimmy Johnson and Dale Jr. comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, because they come to it went three wide at the checker finish line, and Jr. pushes Jimmy to the win there. So, wow, it's incredible.
Yeah, and Boyer,
incredible battle.
Boyer and Jimmy Johnson, one of the closest finishes in NASCAR history. Will we see another close finish this Sunday? Recently we've had insane finishes. Ryan Blaney, Ryan Newman, and Denny Hamlin have mostly been in the mix almost every time.
Yeah, so Ryan be in victory lane at Talladega pretty soon.
Will someone get wrecked for the finish?
Or will Stenhouse go back and continue his wins?
Yes, you'll just have to stay tuned on Fox FS1 this Sunday. It's going to be insane. We'll have some great racing, and everybody loves Talladega, so you want to tune in. Don't forget to tune into our Fast Picks series this Friday to make your predictions, get some points, and maybe you can win a shirt at the end of the season.
And be sure to subscribe, because that way you know that we hit that bell notification, know when our videos go out, and play along with us.
Alright, so strap in by clicking that subscribe button, start your engines, and stay in the draft. We'll see you next time.